Hi, everyone. So, I'm doing a random episode today, but I've kind of planned it. Like, I was writing down, ideas, um, as soon as they came to my mind because I'll usually forget them right away. And then I looked at my list and I was like, I don't know how to, what episode to make of all of this stuff. So, I'm just gonna make a random one, but it's still gonna be relatable, I hope. Um, and it was still kind of planned because I wrote shit down. So, yeah, I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving if you're listening in real time. And so I just have some stuff I want to talk about. And yeah, so I'll start with the first thing on the list. And it's got to do with lessons in chemistry on Max, which just recently ended. I don't know if any of you, I don't like that they called it Max. They should stick with HBO, but whatever. But I don't know if you've seen that, if any of you have seen that show. All I'm gonna say is that show has some autistic characters in it. And I mean, the obvious ones are the mother and daughter. Because the daughter sounds like a little adult, and I've met kids like that. And the character that plays, what's her face? I don't even remember the name. But the mother and the chemist, she played pretty autistic too. Sometimes I wonder, actually all the time I wonder, if I see autistic characters or what it seems to be autistic characters, I wonder if they were written to be autistic and it just wasn't maybe they were written to be autistic, because maybe one of the writers or whoever does the show my word sucks still, and don't listen too close, but I don't know, maybe the writers, they're autistic or something and they just incorporate it that way. I have no idea what goes on behind the scenes, but Lessons in Chemistry should not have been a mini-series. I would have kept watching that for many more seasons. So, but anyways, that's just what I think about that. Water, hold on. So people on The Amazing Race, at least the American version, they don't say thank you enough. I don't know. I just cringe every time they snatch one of those clues from somebody and they just turn right around and start running away without saying thank you. Come on, man. These people, they don't like being there for hours and hours waiting for everybody to finish too, but most of them don't say thank you. Is that normal? Because it doesn't seem normal to me. It seems really rude. I get that, you're racing or whatever, but you still take breaks for camera interviews, so I don't understand. You're not in that much of a rush, I guess, but whatever. I just think that, people should say thank you more on that show. Even if you're in a hurry, say thanks. Let's see. When I'm writing, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but let's say I'm journaling, it is hard to have only one word on a line. Does anybody feel this way? So I'll write a short paragraph and I'll squeeze the last word on the same line if possible, because one word on one line seems like a waste because that whole line isn't being used. If half of it was used, that's different. But yeah, it's hard to have only one word on a line. I don't like how that looks. And I would like to know if anybody else feels this way. Also, the Britney Spears book. Oh my God. Have you guys read and or listened to it? Well, I guess read or listened to it. I don't know if you would do both, but I'm bringing this up because I have to admit that I was of the people back in the day who thought she was crazy. I do regret that now. I was young, I was ignorant, and I really just had no awareness. So if I heard a bunch of people saying the same thing about something like this, when she shaved her head, I don't know. they were saying that she was like crazy, and I believed it too, and that was so wrong because she got with somebody like Kevin Federline. Who the fuck wants to see him? Like, you can't take them seriously, especially him. But now, a year or two ago, right before she got off of that thing, sorry about the words, but my memory doesn't, what was it? Like the contract thing where like her dad oversees her and she has like limited privileges. And when that came back up like a year or two ago, I started paying attention, and Hulu had like a documentary. Other places had documentaries on it, and I was like, what? That's why she did that? And I just felt so bad that I thought that about her. Like, she actually, I actually think she's autistic. Not based on like Michelle Williams' version when she does the audiobook, but just in general, like the wording, the things that she talks about, all the stuff that she's kept hidden from the public. The thing about like Justin Timberlake and him not wanting a baby. I don't know if that's been out before, but that was new to me. And I was like, that fucking dick. I like his music, but I don't listen to it anymore because he's a dick. Or was. I don't know what he's doing now, but I felt so bad for her. I can't even imagine being in a situation like that where you're a grown-ass adult and you're told what you can and can't do, and other people have fucking access of your money. And come to find out, she had reasons for what she did in the past. And she explains them all in the book, and it makes total sense to me. And so I need to stop, like, just... I mean, I'm getting better with, like, not just kind of going with what everybody else is saying, because I realize that there's a lot of, like, false information out there about all kinds of stuff. And so I really think she's autistic, just based on what she says about, like, secluding herself, not knowing what to do in different situations. And I see her in a totally different light now. So I encourage any of you out there, if you have the same kind of feelings that I did about her previously, just like read her book. This shouldn't have happened to her, and I feel really bad about it, but I'm glad that she's free. Moving right along to, okay, so I just finished a book that I edited about shamanism. I'm not intending to offend anybody out there. That's not my intention. I just need to understand this better. And so I read the book, and it was like the best book of all the other ones I've done on it, because the lady wrote clearly, concisely. It didn't scream like, you know, like they weren't lies. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. She just wrote really well. It didn't sound kooky. So that's how I can say it. It did not sound kooky like some of the other ones do. So based on the way it was written, I was starting to think about different things that she was talking about. And she was mostly talking, it was a book about journeying, like the shamanism journeys. That's what she talks about, like the ones that she's been on, what she does. And then there's this talk of crystals, having her animals, going to different like times, like periods of time. I don't know, like, is that real? And the reason I'm asking is because I don't understand. If I have a hard time making sense of something I don't understand, and it may be years that I don't understand something before, like, I try to revisit it. So I have a hard time just understanding what that's all about. Like, is this dreams that she's having? Because she wrote like she literally was going to these places. She knew the dialogue. She had specific stories about crystals and stuff like that. So I don't know. She seemed like she knew what she was talking about, but I couldn't figure it out in my mind. Is that real? Because this is the first non-kooky book I've read about like a subject like that. And so it made me question, like, maybe is it real? Because this lady sounds normal, but I don't understand how this is possible. Like, do you go to these other places in your mind? Can you really retrieve, like, souls or something? The only thing I know of shamanism before that book was a Xena Warrior Princess episode that they did. I don't remember. It was maybe season 4. It was years ago I saw that. So I don't know. I don't know why I still remember it, but that's all I know of shamanism. And it seemed strange when I watched it. Like they all drank this thing, laid down, and then just flew off into another land. I don't know. I mean, I'm spiritual. I'm definitely open-minded. I would like to learn more about the subject, but I don't understand it. And this book should have made me understand it, and I don't. So if anybody out there practices shamanism or is a shaman. Yep. Sorry. If somebody out there is a shaman, can you please, like, would you mind, like, briefly explaining some things to me, or like maybe sending me some links to articles or whatever so I can understand more about it? Yes, thank you. Next thing, oh my God. If you listen to the episode where I bitched about not being able to go to see Alanis Morissette when I was a teenager and how I've never let that go. Even though I don't talk to my mother anymore, I have never let that go. That was so, I would describe that as a child. I just remember feeling despair. And because she was a special interest, I had, like, it's embarrassing now, but I had, like, made an entire binder dedicated to her with articles from magazines, all kinds of stuff. And so, and her music was awesome. I connected with it even at that young age. And so I asked my mother to take me. She could have, but she chose not to. And I haven't had the opportunity to be anywhere where I can get to see her live. So a few days ago, Alicia asks me to come out to her room, or the living room, whatever. And she bought tickets. She was getting ready to buy tickets for an Alanis Morissette show in July of next year. And bonus, Joan Jett is there too. I love her. Oh my God, I have always wanted to see her live. So it's like 2 for the price of 1. Or maybe they really, I don't know how that works. But anyways, she wanted to, like, let me look at the seating because, like, this was in real time and the seats were growing quick. So they must have just released, I don't know. But yeah, do you know how much that means to me? And it's not even a guarantee that, like, nothing's a guarantee, but I have bought tickets for shows months in advance and I've never had one canceled on me, but I know it happens. And so I'm going to just be hopeful and expect that this is going to happen. And if it doesn't, I'm going to figure out what the fuck I can do to make it happen. But there was one last set of seats. There was 2, and one was an aisle seat. And we really had to search for that. And it was off onto the side, kind of like in the middle. There's like going to be 10,000 people there. So I think, I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't think I'll care. Because I'm there to see her and Joan Jett. Which I should be seeing Joan Jett first. She's probably the opener, but I don't know. Or maybe they're performing together. I don't fucking know, but I don't care. But I get to see her next year. And Alicia found me the last aisle seat because the tickets were just going really quick. And she's like, do you want to be off on the side like that? Like, maybe you won't see her as well as you would like to. And I was just like, every place like that has screens up so that even the people in the back can see what's going on. I just need to be in that building and hear the music. Like, I will still be able to see it. It won't be front row or anything like that, or in the middle, but I don't even fucking care. Like, I could still see her. I can see the screens. I have an aisle seat, the last one that she found, because you guys know I don't like to sit next to some stranger. And it wasn't cheap, but it was cheaper than the other ones that were, like, more toward the center or whatever. But I was just floored because oh my God, I am so excited. All my dreams are going to come true now. And what's going on with my eye? I mentioned that last time, right? About the blurriness. So I worked myself up to calling the ophthalmologist. So I'm going off of, hold on, I need some water. So I need, I don't know what I was going to get ready to say, but, oh, I do. I needed to work myself up to motivating myself to make that phone call because I recently realized, I mean, I kind of knew this already and I may have mentioned it before, but like I literally can't do more than one phone call to a stranger in one day. I can talk to Alicia and Laura and also somebody else because I know Alicia and Laura, but I can't make more than one phone call a day for anything. Unless it was like, it had to do with like my surgery. I think I did last year for that. Excuse me. I think I did last year for that. Hold on. Man, why do you guys still listen to me? I'm so sorry. It sounds like I don't know what I'm doing. But anyways, so Alicia had come home from work. She's like, did you call yet? And I was like, well, you just said to call today. You didn't say when I had to call. So my plan was just to wait until they closed at 4 and then call a few minutes later and leave a voicemail so I don't have to talk to anybody until they call back. I don't know. That seemed normal to me in my mind. And so and it was like, I don't know, noon, because it was one of her earlier days that she got off work. And she was back here in my room and she's like, would you like me to sit with you while you make that phone call? And normally that would make me more anxious, but actually that time it made me feel like way better about it because I know that like if I get asked questions by a doctor, I can't immediately think of the answers sometimes, and she can spew them off right away. So it's helpful to have her there. But anyways, I called and it ended up that maybe they were at lunch or something. I don't know, but I left a voicemail. I had written down bullet points to make sure I didn't forget anything, but I still forgot something. And, I'm doing this because Laura told me, and I'm not bashing on her, but she did tell me that when she saw an eye doctor, she didn't have to make a referral because they treated eye issues very, very seriously and could get people in the same day or the next day. And I'm sure that there's places that do that. Because she said she did not need a referral. So I went on that information, even though I felt that it was wrong information because I've always had to get referrals to special places or whatever. I don't know. Do you know what I mean by special places? Like for surgeries and stuff or whatever. I don't know. So I left the voicemail and I was feeling anxious just doing that. And so I was like stumbling over my words. Oh my God. And I was too far in to the voicemail to just like stop. So I just kept going. It was like no longer than a minute. And then I hung up and I looked at Alicia. I was like, did that make sense at all? And she says, well, you didn't have to did you have to say all of that? And I was like, yes, it said on the voicemail to leave a brief summary of what's going on with you. That's what I did. It was within a minute. That seems like an appropriate amount of time for a voicemail. So a few hours later, Alicia's like, I don't know where she's at. She's not in the house, but I get a call back from the receptionist and she thought it was weird that I wanted to see the specific doctor that works there because there's so many other ones there too. And I was like, okay, I don't think that's weird because people request people all the time. So I just want to see him. But, I got the sense that I couldn't get in to see them. So I was like, do you guys need a referral? And she's like, yeah. I felt so embarrassed. Of course I know that. I know this. I've always done this. But Laura said that for eyes, it was quicker. And so I guess it's not. So I have to get my doctor to send a referral over, which means I'm going to have to meet in person with my doctor because I need to just have an updated appointment. I haven't been in a while. And I don't know this doctor because she replaced the other one I had. And I want to get a new doctor, and I think I will. That's in the, same place that Alicia goes to because it's closer to home. It's not in the city. And she encouraged me to like call and see if they were taking patients. I was like, like most doctors have a waiting list, and I don't want to be on a waiting list. Because that's going to take forever. And even if I could get in right away, the first appointment would be the initial assessment. Then I would have to leave and reschedule a different appointment for like, I don't know, my eye stuff or whatever. Oh no, this is with a doctor with like blood work and I don't know. Am I making sense? So yeah. I'll call to get a new doctor after this is over, but I don't want to just have to, I'll do those appointments. Like, I'd rather make an appointment with a doctor for the first time and just have that be the only appointment I have to go to see them for like months, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to stick with the VA to get through this eye shit. You guys are going on the journey with me too. I'm going to bring you on the journey and keep you up to date. But yeah. So now I have to go onto the VA portal and draft up like a formal kind of letter with all the specifics, which is going to take me at least an hour. And then I'm going to message them. And if I'm honest, I hope I don't hear back until like next Monday because I have a lot of shit to do. I can still see, like, I'm not walking into walls or anything like that, but like I like am so anxious about meeting with people, and I might have to go to this one in person because it's not far from where we live, so there's no excuse. Plus, like, Alicia will be at work, and she's got a lot of stuff to do there, so I can't have her go with me on every appointment. But she pointed out the fact that they were in the same place I did physical therapy when my finger broke. So, and I've already been to that place before, or that area, so I know where to go. I don't know if I should have said all that, but whatever. And then the last thing I have is that, the controversy between, like, somebody, like those people in the news who all of a sudden somebody comes forward and says they did something, like assault them in some way. Mostly it seems to be like men that are coming to the forefront, but I know women do shady shit too. Or non-binary people too. What was I saying? Oh man, I really should not put this episode out. I feel like my content's getting worse, but kind of not. I don't know. Yeah, so the people who get like called out, like, I was assaulted like 10 years ago or whatever. The controversy between watching TV shows or movies with like people like that in them or going to anti-gay places, like Hobby Lobby, and listening to an artist's music versus like, do I still do those things? So, like Michael Jackson, that whole thing came out, and then people were like, you shouldn't listen to the music anymore, even though he's dead. Was he dead at the time? I don't know. Maybe I'll go with, did you guys watch that Netflix show? What was it called? The Ranch? It had, what's his face in it? From that 70s show. And, the dude, what's his name? With the curly hair. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. He came from that show. Both of them did. Well, okay, I can't re-record this. I'm so sorry. I'm like not sounding like normal. This is kind of what I'm figuring out. I sound like this when I'm feeling really overwhelmed, and I've been feeling really overwhelmed for a few days now with all the stuff I have going on, all the work I have going on. Just different things keep popping up, and it's been so hard to deal with them because it's one thing after another. And that we usually can only focus on one thing at a time, and that if more things pop up that need our attention, it makes us feel overwhelmed. And so when I feel that overwhelmed, my talking is like disjointed. I have like brain fog, which still seems to be going on. So that's why lately I've been sounding like woo-woo. But I wanted to explain that because I know my other episodes don't really sound like, I feel like this sounds kind of all over the place, and I always hope it makes sense. But I'm feeling less overwhelmed today because Alicia helped me with a couple of things, and now I don't have to worry about those anymore. So I feel a little bit better today. But anyways, so the controversy between like that dude from The Ranch on Netflix, and do you still watch the shows that he's in? Like, would you ever go back to watch that 70s show? Would you continue watching The Ranch with the other guy that's pretty famous? I don't remember his name, and I should, because everybody knows him. But it's like, do you still watch that show, or do you still listen to music from somebody who's been accused and or I should just say found guilty, because I usually just wait to see if they're found guilty before I make a final decision on do I continue doing this or not. Because I do believe that even though there's so much information that comes up pointing to a person's like not like they're guilty or whatever, you can't just ignore that. So, like for Michael Jackson, he's dead now, but you know that. And people would I saw like shows, like news shows showing clips of other things happening, and people were literally like, you can't watch this anymore, or you can't listen to this anymore, or you can't go to that place anymore because that person's terrible. And I used to agree with that. Like, if you do something shitty and you're found guilty for it, I'm done with you. However, I have reframed that into, that's not quite fair, because I've encountered this recently with The Nightmare Before Christmas. You know, the thing with like Danny Elfman that's been popping up. I'm like, no, that is my favorite fucking movie. And so I thought about it, and I'm like, that movie has done so many things for me. The music has, it's like a tradition. I watch it every year at Halloween. Can I give that up? Even if he's found guilty or whatever? I don't know if he has been yet, or I don't know what's going on with that, but it got brought up recently and everybody was surprised about it. And I was like, do I stop watching the movie and listening to the music? And then I thought back to how like stuff like that like helps me in so many ways. I don't know. It gives me something to look forward to. It's exciting to watch every single time. Even though I've watched it every year for years, I still find something new that I don't remember from before, which is so weird to me because I've watched that movie so many times. But I'm not going to stop watching it or listening to the music because it makes me feel really good. And Danny Elfman isn't the only person that was involved with the music. Like maybe on a couple of songs or whatever, but like he still had help making them and arranging them and stuff. So I don't want to stop watching. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's a personal choice. You can't just tell people not to do something because that's their choice. And I don't think there's anything wrong if anybody wants to listen to Michael Jackson music. Even with his whole controversy, I don't care if anybody wants to go to Hobby Lobby or Chick-fil-A because those places don't like the gays. But, well, I think one of them says they do now, but I don't believe them. And so I now understand that this is a personal choice and nobody should be getting like called out on whatever choice they make. It's nobody else's business unless the person wishes to share or something if they're having a conversation about it. But do what you want to do, because maybe that person who was on a show for many years and you've watched that show, like you watch it all the time, back to back to back, you just can't get enough of it, or you binge it every so often, whatever. Like if you like it and it makes you feel good and it does something beneficial for you, because I don't agree with people who say that watching TV is like junk. It's not. It depends on what you watch. Like, I like to watch educational things too, so I can learn something every day. But nobody should be made to feel bad about still watching somebody's show or listening to their music if they have been in controversial situations. People come forward and accuse them of doing things. They get convicted of it. That's a personal choice, because we're all individuals and we all have our thing that does that thing for us. You know what I mean? And Nightmare Before Christmas is one of those, and I legit will not give it up, because it seems like an autistic movie to me. I don't know. Because Tim Burton's autistic, so, but that's not why I like it. I just like it because anybody out there who's watched Nightmare Before Christmas and likes it, you know why I like it. Because my words are starting to go away now. But yeah, I just felt the need to like say that, because there's some things that I'm learning about myself recently that I'm still black and white on, and I'm black and white on everything. But some things I don't have to be, and I'm really realizing that now. If that makes sense. So yeah, I just wanted to say, not that I'm like the authority or anything, but like anybody out there who's struggling with like making a decision to do or not to do, go with your gut. And if you want to keep doing a thing, despite the person being convicted or whatever the situation is, do it. You know, it's your choice, and that thing makes you feel good, if that makes sense. Yeah, like I thought I'd come a long way in therapy, and in some ways I have, and in some ways I have a long way to go. So I need to just keep revisiting those things and processing through them and blah blah blah. I don't know why I brought that up. Okay, I gotta go, because please keep listening to me. I promise I'll sound better in the future. I don't know when that will be. Is you can probably hear my words are like. So if you're still listening, of course I appreciate it. I hope that you were able to relate in any way. And I always love the emails about anybody who says they can relate, and also anybody that provides me with information about something I'm unclear of, because yeah, I gotta go now. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.